Hey everybody, Pete Burak here, and you're watching another episode of Cathlist. We all know who St. Joseph is here, right? Husband of the Blessed Virgin Mary, foster father of God. Though much about this man and his life is a mystery, we do know a few things, and since his feast day is today, I thought we'd talk about what we do and don't know about St. Joseph. For example, did you know that the guy doesn't even have one quote in the Bible? He is the gentle and humble servant of God, I get it, and the Blessed Virgin Mary, but come on. We have no recorded words from him. In fact, he wasn't even mentioned in the majority of the 27 books of the New Testament, including the Gospel of Mark. And again, Mark was in a bit of a rush and didn't mention a lot of things. Well, that's one fact for you. I've got 10 more, so stick around. The only mention of Joseph in the Gospel of St. John is when someone calls Jesus the son of Joseph. I mean, come on, can't the man get his own reference? We don't know what happened to St. Joseph, since his exit from the scriptural narrative is left entirely unexplained. He's obviously a huge part of the pre-nativity and nativity story, and he's spoken of briefly when 12-year-old Jesus is left behind in the temple. But after that, nothing. So we assume that he died at some point, like everyone else in the Bible, and everyone of all time, well, of course, except Elijah, Enoch, and Mary. We just don't know how or when Joseph passed away, although it is likely that he died before Jesus began his public ministry, and definitely before the crucifixion. St. Joseph was a carpenter. Bombshell. I'm sure that's familiar knowledge. In the original Greek Gospels, he was given the noun tekton, which meant best boy in the ancient Greek theater. Just kidding, it means carpenter, even though it's a more general word that could potentially include in craftsmanship in other kinds of materials like iron or stone, possibly the owner of a workshop with several employees. The general consensus, though, is that Joseph worked with wood. The Jewish Quarterly Review, the oldest English language journal in the field of Jewish studies, has stated that the description carpenter is used in the Jewish Talmud to signify a learned man, indicating that Joseph may have also been considered very wise and highly literate in the Torah. The earliest record of formal devotion and veneration of St. Joseph dates back to the 9th century, when he was often referred to as Nutritor Domini, meaning guardian, educator, or nurturer of the Lord. Between the Western and Eastern Catholic churches, St. Joseph has 3 feast days. I guess that makes up for his limited biblical screen time. For the Eastern Catholics, he is honored on the Sunday after the Feast of the Nativity, and for us Westerners, we honor him especially on March 19th, the Solemnity of St. Joseph, and May 1st, the Feast of St. Joseph the Worker. St. Joseph is the patron saint of a whole lot of stuff. The Universal Church, the unborn, fathers, immigrants, workers, employment, carpenters, mutes, insomniacs, realtors, against doubt and hesitation, a happy death, Canada, Croatia, Korea, Vietnam, Mandaway City, Cebu. The Philippines, and there's more, but I don't have the lung capacity for that. And actually, I made up 2 of those. You can guess in the description below. He's often portrayed with a staff that has 3 white lilies blooming from the top. Ever wonder why? They represent his 3 inalienable rights: life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Actually, the 3 flowers represent Joseph's virtues: holiness, innocence, and obedience to God, as well as his faithfulness and chastity to Mary. Iris? And because Joseph was especially chosen for Mary, imagery and parallels have been drawn from an Old Testament incident with Moses' brother Aaron, when his staff sprouted with almond blossoms as a sign that he too was especially chosen by God. And finally, for now, did you know that Josephology is a thing? It's the theological study of St. Joseph, which began growing in the 12th century alongside Mariology, the theological study of Mary. All right, that's all the time we have for now. Thank you very, very, very much for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you like this video, and hit the subscribe button if you'd like to see more. Click here to learn about Ave Maria Radio. Click here to learn about the young adult outreach I direct. And as always, there are links to check out in the description below. I'm Pete Burak, and I will see you next week. God bless. In the original Greek Gospels, yeah, the boss is coming. Over here we have Mr. Al Cresta. That is my favorite role in the credits. The best boy. Even though it's more general and weird, nope, that's word. How long should I look?
It's only 3 feast days.
Oh, I'm thinking of a different one. Oh, I was thinking of the The universal church, the unborn, fathers, immigrants, workers, unemployment. Why?
Inalienable.
What did I say?
Inalienable.
Inalienable.
John Madden.
Yeah. And so over here you got the... They represent his three inalienable rights. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of action. I like looked at Iris to make sure I said inalienable right. Yeah, I didn't. How do you say, what am I not saying?
You say inalienable.
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 Inalienable. And finally, for now, did you know that Josephology is a thing? I didn't even know to say that at first.